I would like to commend the leadership of the association for sustaining this very important platform for dialogue on diplomacy, security, governance, and strategic communication. And I align with all the previous speakers about the issues that they have canvassed, about the need for us to understand how important it is in the 21st century, the role of the media, but for us to be alert as stakeholders. As someone who rose through the rank as a correspondent, a reporter myself, I deeply identify with the work of the diplomatic correspondents. I can recall very vividly I cover embassies, cover ambassadors, and had international engagement, and had privilege of also enjoying what we call farm trips, organized by embassies for journalists to go to countries to get to connect what you call people-to-people connection. I've enjoyed that severally. And I remember one of the ones that stood out for me in my career was when I was nominated as the only African journalist to cover the inauguration of President Joko Widodo in 2014 in Indonesia. So we must take ourselves serious. Journalism is not just a very serious profession. Being part of the diplomatic correspondent offer you opportunity that no profession do have. And when I did an internship with the leading English newspaper in Indonesia, the Jakarta Post, the chief editor told me something that had remained very profound. He said, Jibrin, there are 3 professions in the world that interfere, if you like, or that can connect with people's private life: doctors, lawyers, and journalists. But of all the professions, there's none that have the privilege and the leverage of a journalist. Once you have an ID card of a reputable organization, none, you are well dressed, you smell nice, either as a man or a woman, and you are courteous, you talk to people with decorum, even president of a country, that even a appointee of government cannot get close to, once you introduce yourself with level of confidence, I am so and so, and you bring out your immediate, or you look at him straight in the face. Even if he doesn't answer your question, you have made an impact. That is what journalism offers to all of us. And we must understand the privilege that we have as journalists. But that comes with a lot of responsibility, especially in the world of noise, misinformation, as earlier canvassed and eloquently mentioned by earlier speakers. Misinformation, disinformation, outright lies against individual countries. People set out to cause disaffection. So as journalists, particularly diplomatic correspondents, we must understand what to call text, content, and context. Everybody can post on the social media. This is an event. It's a text. It's a context. There's a content from this event. So for you to be able to differentiate your people who post on social media, you must give appropriate caption. For instance, this is the high table, or that is the lower table. And if you permit my example, if the 2 people sitting there, if for instance they are not related, they are just sitting because of the event, and you post the picture of these 2 people, or on this side, you put it on the social media, it may cause problem from the man here or from the lady there, because you didn't put it in context. So as journalists, our responsibility, especially in the age of misinformation and disinformation, where there are a lot of people who claim to be journalists who are not, those of us who have the responsibility of institutions must stamp our authority by first be knowledgeable about issues. Don't undermine or blackmail anybody. You must know issues. If you want to talk about Nigeria, you must know Nigeria. You want to talk about ECOWAS, you must know ECOWAS. You want to talk about Algeria, you must know Algeria. So as a journalist on this beat, it confers a lot of responsibility on all of us. And I'm saying this because for me, like the spokesperson, I'm always eager when I'm invited to come to events like this because I believe I'm an example to all of us, our colleagues. Just a few years ago, and Fred could recall, we're all on the same beat. I'm always not ashamed to say that. I'm very proud to say that I'm a battle-tested journalist, a boot on the ground, or if you like, a frontline warrior, like if I would borrow the word. So I come here not just to speak, but to inspire all of you about what is possible. That you can be a journalist and rose to the rank and get to the topmost. So I'm not just here to talk to us as colleagues, but to say that being a journalist comes with a responsibility. And why it is important for us to take it very serious. Where you will be discussed or recommended, you won't be there. Those who recommend you will not ask you. They will just look at your track record. You won't be in those rooms. Let's take ourselves serious. Let's so that the world will take us serious. I understand the pivotal role that we play as journalists, and we must continue to do that to help create credible information. At the Voice of Nigeria, we remain very committed to strengthening partnership with the media, diplomatic institutions, and other strategic stakeholders in projecting Nigeria positively to the world. This commitment was also reflected in our recent VOM Forum, where critical conversation around media, governance, and national and international development took center stage as part of our effort to deepen public engagement and strategic communication. And I'm glad all the previous speakers alluded to that. The lady who spoke about ECOWAS. And the story of ECOWAS is literally impossible without Nigeria. We have not just committed billions of dollars, but we have also committed boots on the ground. And many of our fathers, uncles, and relations even paid the supreme price. The world need to know. So at diplomatic condition, you need to empower yourself so that nobody disrespects you. You are not saying that you are trying to boast about it, but it is there. So people don't distort history and tell you what it's not. But also, for us to understand, diplomatic correspondent will have the responsibility not just to report, but to also understand we have a country to run. It is not the responsibility of the spokesperson of the ministry to paint or project Nigeria in the positive light. Whether you are in the public or private media organization, Nigeria have to exist first before you can practice your trade. And we're not saying that you must do eye service. No. We're saying that you must be factual, you must be professional. So at the Voice of Nigeria, since I came on board, we're very intentional, very deliberate, and I'm bold to say that even unapologetic about telling the Nigeria and African story, because others are busy telling theirs. We must not allow a world where what people listening to us through third-party media, and everything they say about Nigeria and Africa is always in the negative, which is not true. There's no part of the world that is perfect. And I'm saying, and I keep saying, and I make bold to say, that on daily basis, good things are happening in Nigeria. The world must know. Good things are happening in Africa. The world must know. And I'm also saying that Nigerians, there is hardly any country on the face of earth where there are no country that you won't find one or two Nigerians that are contributing to the economy of those countries. We shouldn't wait until when one person, sometimes inconsequential, to define who we are. We're good people. So as diplomatic correspondents, we must empower ourselves with knowledge. We must know that we have a responsibility, we have a job to do, but we have a country to protect. And our responsibility is even more now, when we're in the age of social media, where people claim, everybody claims to be a reporter. Is there insecurity in Nigeria? Yes. Is it only Nigeria who have insecurity? No. Our officers are men paying the supreme price. Even as we are talking here, if one have made mistake, they don't use that to define the entire armed forces or security agencies. No. Like the EU ambassador and others said, if you are not careful, there are people who have agenda, and you'll be used to be purveyor of their agenda. So, the spokesperson, I apologize for taking more than 2 minutes. I just thought that when you have opportunity like this, I speak from my heart. I'm convinced about what I'm saying, and I'm very unapologetic, either as a private citizen or as a government official. And I'm always free to say this because even at the Voice of Nigeria, I say I'm #1 reporter. I am a reporter first, anytime, any day. My brother, Mr. Fred, thank you for organizing this. I believe this conference and other conferences do provide valuable opportunity for collaboration among media organizations, diplomatic community, intelligent experts, and policy makers to build trust, promote peace, and strengthen democratic values. We are willing to partner with you. Until yesterday or a few days ago, Voice of Nigeria broadcast in 8 languages. Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Fulfulde, English, Arabic, French, and Swahili. But we just added Mandarin. We signed an MOU with the Chinese embassy. We need to tell our story. We need to be more intentional, many unapologetic. And Fred, I want to assure you and assure our other colleagues that Director General, I will not disappoint all of you. So that when other opportunities